We've had a lot of big games, but I think this one, absolutely qualifies. It qualifies for both teams. This is a quad one opportunity for us. Obviously, Texas is a household name in the world of intercollegiate athletics. Um, you know, Everything they do in Texas is big, and they do it pretty well. Um, I think, as a team, this Texas team has probably got the best collection of perimeter players that we've played. There are about six guys: Pope, Johnson, Mark, Kaluma, Weaver, and Larry. Those six perimeter guys together, I think, are the best group, most talented group that we've played. We've had a couple. We've gone up against a couple great guards, but we've not gone up a team with this many great guards. Obviously, Johnson is a top 10 or so NBA pick as a freshman, and leads them in, second league in scoring, and leads them in a lot of categories, and just a terrific talent. And Texas has beaten Syracuse and New York, and they won at NC State, which is a great win for them, and they've lost to Ohio State, and the only loss they've had at home was UConn, and UConn played great that night. That had been a big one for them and for the league if they could have gotten that one. So they're looking for a signature win. They're looking for one that they could hang their hat on. And this is that first opportunity, I think, in league at home. And so I would imagine that they're going to be, fired up about the opportunity to play us, the number two team in the country, in their building. And obviously, the prize on our head is significant because it's when you can beat the teams that are ranked, it's a separator. For us, Texas is a huge separator. A quad one opportunity, a road game against a very talented, well-coached team. So 10th in the country in field goal percentage, ninth in scoring and three-point percentage. They really shoot it really well. And as I said, 8-1 at home. We'll have to play our best to win.
They look really lethal in transition. What do you all have to do to kind of slow them down?
Well, they're great in transition. They're great athletes. They're committed to it. They push it. I think one of the things that it's not about stealing any kind of a scouting report. When we get all five guys back, we're pretty good defensively. And so I'm playing against us. I'm going to try to get that ball down there and score. I used to do that against Kentucky when I was at Tennessee and I was playing John Calipari's teams. They were so big that, man, there was just no room to run your offense. And so people used to give me credit for letting my team play with such pace and such freedom. I'm like, shit, you better get it down there before they get back, because otherwise you ain't getting a shot. And I think that is what we're going to start seeing a little bit because I think we were pretty effective when all five guys are back defensively.
Versus you guys this first week, 2 road games, only 1 full day of prep for each team. How much of a luxury in this situation is your coaching staff? The fact, you talked in Maui about those short scouts that they're able to do, obviously a little more time now, but how much do you lean on those guys, and how effective have they been this season for you?
Well, my staff they do a great job, and we break things down. As I said it before, but I don't mind talking about it again. Ira Bowman and Mike Burgermaster have their team. Stephen Pearl and Maddox have their team. Corey Williams and Chad Pruitt have their team. And with that team means some of the other GAs and some of the managers and things along those lines that are all working in advance. And then Stephen as the defensive coordinator, Mike Burgermaster is offensive coordinator, work with me on each game. Those guys obviously take great pride in their preps, and they work really well together too, sharing information and trying to help the team get ready. On a short prep, for us, we played Saturday. We came in yesterday, and the guys lifted. We had a good long film session, and we were only on the floor for about an hour. just because we have like 3 games when you sort of get in your Tuesday Saturday mode. Even though it's only 2 games a week, you kind of feel like it's 3 games in a week, right? 3 games in 18 days. So, we only have a short prep for them, but they only have a short prep for us. So it equals out.
Bruce, what did you think of the rebounding in the Missouri game? And Dylan was coming in here talking about how important that was going to be, especially when you go on the road in this league.
I mean, Missouri. I thought that Missouri did a pretty good job keeping us off the boards. We shot it. We were so patient offensively, and we turned it over a little bit. We didn't get as many shots up. Like, we turned it over more against Missouri than we have turned it over. So we took fewer shots. Therefore, we had fewer offensive rebounds. And I was okay with some of their side. We had a couple free throw checkouts weren't very good, and obviously, look, as we get into league play, we are going to have to, obviously pick up our physicality. Texas is going to come out playing very physically, come play very hard, because they just played the most physical team in our league, or one of them, in Texas A&M. Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Florida, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Florida, and Tennessee are probably the 3 most physical teams in our league, and they just got done playing Texas A&M at Texas A&M. While we play physically, we're not the Aggies.
Bruce, you talked about the talent of Texas, their guards and wings. Chad and Denver have been so good defensively. How much of a luxury is that for you guys, and how important is that matchup for them on the defensive end?
I think the biggest thing is for my guards is, yes, I mean, Chad Baker and Denver Jones have, to me, proven to be 2 of the best defensive guards in the country. Miles has improved tremendously and is really committed to getting better, as is Tahad and Jakai, and Chris Moore always does a really good job. So clearly I've challenged my guards and Cheney, and Janai, my perimeter guys, to understand the challenges that we're going to be facing against this roster. These guys can all get their own. Like, just take the Trevon Mark, okay? I mean, he was a guy, whether it be at Arkansas, or I guess he's been 2 places other than Arkansas, Houston. And Arkansas. He was obviously he was, especially at Arkansas, one of the top 2 or 3 guys. He still is, but there's 3 or 4 other guys. He's 4th or 5th on the team in shots attempted. That tells you how talented they are. When that kid's 4th or 5th on the team in shots attempted.
You talked about transition defense, transition offense. I know is something you've been wanting to see better. Without giving anything away, just what do you want to see better from your guys?
Just want to run the floor better and take advantage of our creating turnovers and doing doing a good job of taking advantage of an opponent's, because very few teams are great at transition defense. So that's why I'd like to be a better transitional offensive team.
PP, is there anything you take from that true road game at Duke that you can think back on to sort of going into your next true road game?
I think this is going to even be more of a road game, because at Duke there were, place only holds 8.5 or something like that, and we had at least 1,000 people in the building. And so at Duke, we absolutely could hear the crowd. We got off to a great start, which I think is important on the road. But this is going to be a even harder environment, because I don't expect to have as many. I don't expect to have 1,000 Auburn fans down there. Love to, and I don't know whether the game is sold out or not. I'm sure it's a great crowd, but one of the questions I'll ask the team today in preparation is, tell me what they say about teams that can win on the road. What do they say about them? And then we'll fill in the blanks and see if that's who we are.
Last one for.
You talk about Denver and his defense and Chad there as well. Just how much have you seen Chad's improvement on that end of the floor, especially in the Missouri game? You can see him really impacting a lot of different actions.
Yeah, I mean, for Chad, like many things, it's just when he gets when he gets excited about it, and I think he's just been more consistent this year with everything, his preparation, and he's always been able to instinctively do it. He's got great length, great anticipation, doesn't have the same girth, obviously, that Denver does. Denver has got the strength and the toughness, and he has grown into it. Miles and Ja'Kai have got great length, but have always been better offensively. Defined as better offensive players. But for Miles, if he's going to go play in the NBA, it's got to be a 3-and-D guy, and he's got to be able to do both at a high level every night. And so that's what he's trying to do. And Ja'Kai, as a freshman, just learning and growing and getting better and better. Look, our best defensive players are the guys that are, if you think about it, our starting five are our five best defenders. And Cheney is a really good defender, and Tahad is a much improved defender. In other words, the guys that are starting, the guys that are going to close. And so my job as a coach is to try to reward that. Some of them also have to be terrific offensive players. Chennai's our best player, but all those guys